when she first sat across from me at the cafe. Her eyes carried a strange mix of defiance and smugness. I didn't know yet what she was about to say, but my gut told me it wasn't going to be good. We had been together for almost 2 years of shared memories, plans for the future, and countless nights of laughter. I thought we were solid, but I was wrong. She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, and with a smirk that still haunts me, she said, "I cheated on you. I needed a real man." My chest tightened. My ears rang. For a second, I didn't even process the words, and when I did, it felt like the world around me faded into white noise. I asked her to repeat herself, not because I didn't hear, but because I couldn't believe it. Her tone was almost playful, like she was delivering a punchline to a joke I didn't get. She didn't apologize. She didn't look guilty. Instead, she looked proud of herself. "You've been too soft," she continued. I wanted someone stronger, more confident. Each word cut deeper than the last, as if she was trying to make sure I bled out emotionally before she walked away. I expected that my friends, people who had been with me through thick and thin, would be as shocked as I was. But when I told them what happened, their reaction stunned me more than her confession. Instead of outrage, instead of telling me I deserved better, they exchanged glances and shrugged. One even said, well, maybe she had a point. My stomach dropped. It was as if my pain didn't matter. They didn't care about the betrayal. They didn't care about the way she humiliated me. All they seemed to care about was subtly implying that I was the problem. It was like being stabbed in the back, and then having the knife twisted by the very people I thought I could trust. I replayed the moments in my head, how many times she had looked me in the eye, told me she loved me, made promises about our future. I thought about the trips we planned, the inside jokes, the nights we stayed up talking until sunrise. How could all of that mean so little to her? How could she throw it all away for some twisted idea of a real man? Part of me wanted to lash out at her right there, to shout back something equally cruel. But I didn't. I just sat there, trying to hold myself together, because I knew the more I showed my hurt, the more she would feel like she had won. And God, that smirk. It told me she felt victorious. When I finally walked away from her that night, I thought at least I had my friends to lean on. But instead, I found myself in a group chat where people were making light of the situation, even defending her actions. "Relationships get stale," one friend wrote. "Maybe this will help you grow up." I couldn't believe I was reading those words from people I considered my brothers. Days passed, and the isolation sank in. My phone barely buzzed anymore unless it was from someone asking if I'd gotten over it yet. No one wanted to talk about the betrayal. No one wanted to acknowledge how wrong she was. And slowly, I began to realize I had been surrounded by people who never truly respected me in the first place. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was realizing how easily people could switch sides, how quickly they could justify hurting someone if it meant keeping their own comfort intact. Her smirk had been bad enough, but the quiet approval from my friends cut deeper than any insult. One night, I sat alone in my apartment looking at old photos on my phone. There she was, in picture after picture, smiling like she actually cared. And there they were, my so-called friends, laughing with me at barbecues, game nights, birthdays. I couldn't unsee the hypocrisy now. They had been close enough to witness my relationship, but apparently not close enough to defend me when it mattered. Eventually, I made a decision. I wasn't going to fight for their approval anymore. I wasn't going to beg them to see my side. I quietly began removing people from my life, my so-called friends, anyone who made me feel like my pain was a punchline. It was lonely at first, but with each person I let go, I felt lighter. I realized I didn't need a circle that could turn on me so easily. I didn't need people who would side with the one who broke me. What I needed was self-respect, and I was finally starting to rebuild it. Months later, I heard she'd broken up with her real man. Apparently, he didn't treat her as well as I did. I didn't feel satisfaction. I didn't feel the urge to reach out. I just felt nothing, and that nothing felt like freedom. Because in the end, the best revenge wasn't proving her wrong, it was moving on. Knowing I'd never let someone like her, or friends like them, have a place in my life again.